internal vibration up to a very high frequency during meditation. However, I cannot seem to maintain them throughout my daily walk. You are normal, my friend. You and the rest of the world. Any guidance on how to bridge the gap and maintain these high vibrations? This is why I began to offer you, and I don't know why I didn't do it a long time ago, but it's the main reason why I like to offer sound and light. I offer collected codes. This is why I gave the offering for this month, and some of you have started to schedule that already. Super good on you. Because light codes and sound vibrations, particularly light languages that go along with light codes, are an incredible way. I have light codes all over YouTube, all over this Patreon, um, everywhere. Light codes are a lot of fun. Happy birthday, Felidia. Um, Thank you for that. Hey, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you put this back in the fridge?
Yeah.
So you are really normal. That is the main goal is to keep your vibration at a place that's effective, not high or low, but strong. I want you to learn to create a sacred vocabulary system to bridge the gap between a very most people have very all of us have very conditioned thoughts, and we're conditioned for high low. Recondition all of your thoughts, emotions, and vocabulary into strong, effective, right? That's the next step. It's not a perfect step, but even when you like think about how you're asking a question, how you're maintaining frequency, when you maintain frequency, the only thing you're doing is filtering out what is effective and what's working for you in your light body and in your form. That's how you bridge this gap, is to start with vocabulary, to really shift that. I know it's a little top down, from words and then emotions and then thoughts, but we are so programmed that sometimes we have to find tricky ways to undo that conditioning that the matrix presents. This is why I've been giving you so many break the matrix style videos lately. So light codes and sound, those are the things that work. Right. And I know that it's not, if I could go around with my earplugs with all of my own light music all day, that would be effective, but it wouldn't work for people around me. I have to be a part of the environment. So I've learned all of the little light languages, the quick little light languages that go along with the light codes, and I repeat them in my mind. I focus on them when I'm noticing that I go into any duality. So now here's the tricky part: any duality, anything that I've observed as too good or too bad, any too right or too wrong, anything that I've judged in that older pattern of conditioning of above and below. The conditioning is power over, power under. So it includes all thought systems, emotions, thought streams, and words, anything that pulls you into feeling that it's power over or power under. Do you understand power over, power under? Most of you have been with me for a while. Power over makes you feel powerless to something or someone else. Power under also makes you feel the same. Hold on, I've got that wrong. Power under makes you feel powerless to someone or something else. Power over makes you feel that you are the one in control or empowered over something or someone else. You get that? That's really, really important insofar as maintaining your frequency. No power over, no power under. What we're looking for is harmony. What we're looking for is a remembrance of divine equality, right? This is your bridge of consciousness. This is that and consciousness. This is where we are right now in humanity currently. So that was a very important question. Okay, this one's from Gina Struna. She says, "Hi, Pamela and Anya. Thank you for doing this. You are welcome. And thank you for being here live with me. One thing that I've been chewing on is regarding the pursuit of our gifts and desiring to strengthen channeling skills, particularly for personal and familial benefit at present. less interspecies communication. I do not recall which spirit guide suggested we find satisfaction with our gifts as they are, and that, quote, there are enough channels in this world, something to that effect. I don't remember either. The message is the message for the time. So I'll tell you this. One of the things that you could do it if you want. I was about to say you can't do it, but I don't like the word not. You can, and most of you do. But what doesn't work, or what works only in matrix conditioning, rather, is when we say things like, when we do things in this way where we're saying, okay, all messages should sound the same, and we should get one direct message that links us to every channeling or every message from our spirit guides and spirit team that ever existed or will exist. But this is what we do. And this is kind of tricky. So you need to understand what the ego will do, what the mind construct will do in this scenario. It'll go in and create cognitive dissonance and push you away from your own divine sacred experiencing and remembering by saying that this message doesn't sound like that message. And then you'll say, well, which one is right? Which one is right for me? Which one is wrong? And automatically you've gone into hierarchical power over, power under conditioning. Automatically. Do you see how tricky it is? And then the ego will say, well, I don't want to go around minding my vocabulary all the time. You actually do. The soul actually does, because you'll feel better when you do. I experience the same tricky nature in my own ego as you would or anyone would. I'm not immune from my own teaching here. But what works is when we pull everything together and go, okay, that was a message for a particular moment. Is it resonant right now? Is it applicable right now? Right? Just, I know that may or may not go along with your um, theme in this question, but it just had to be channeled through. Because otherwise, we go about, we find channels and teachers and spiritual teachings, and we're hungry. This world is hungry for awakening right now. So beautifully seeking and thirsty for love. However, we can create a big cognitive dissonance immediately, and it's so insidious. The mind goes, well, there has to be one true spiritual teaching. And at the soul level, it's following by the universal law of oneness, but the mind level is going, let me find this little tricky way to get them out of oneness by saying that oneness means every single thing means the same thing, and every single thing has the same vibrational signature and therefore the same significance in my journey and means something that's the same. It never will, because oneness has different flavors. For those of you who are Kabbalion students, you will understand what I mean. It's the one and the all. It's everything, the one in everything. Did you see the foreword when you're reading the Kabbalion, when it says the one is in the all and the all is in the must be in the one? Any student who understands this is well on their way to enlightenment. Hermes Trismegistus. Yeah, except it's easier for him to say. We have to be very mindful of these incredibly insidious ways that our ego can use oneness teachings to cause cognitive dissonance and thereby shut us down and say, washing my hands, I'm done with spirituality. How many people have done that in the beginning? Do you see where I'm going? Does everybody understand? This is really important to understand, because it happens before you know it, and then suddenly you're like, I don't resonate with that teacher. I don't resonate with that teaching because they don't say what my teacher says, or they don't say what my spirit guides say. And then before you know it, you can't listen to anyone anymore or anything, which is fine, because that's a moment where you need to go within the soul, and it has its glory there in the altar inside of yourself. But the ultimate goal is when you can listen to anything and anyone and not get so triggered, or if you do, use it as a moment of catharsis and oneness, forgiveness or compassion, right? We all have our moments that are really incredible, and it's a very vital phase of awakening that you're going through. However, the ultimate goal in enlightenment is when you can listen to anything. You can be around anyone. I love Byron Katie for this, although I'm not in this space and I do not recommend it to anyone here. Can you imagine having a gunman with a gun at your head saying, "I'm gonna kill you," and she looks at him and says, "I love you. You do exactly what you need to do. I trust you." Right. I can't say that I would do that. Don't worry, I'm not advising that because she knows where she is and where she is not in her journey. She knows that. That's why she could do it. But can you imagine having no fear? Even if she was shot or not, she had no fear. Can you imagine being able to disarm murderers and rapists? Can you imagine with your own spiritual work on this planet without putting yourself in danger, Lilith says, using proper discernment and wisdom? Can you imagine reaching those people in a way that doesn't jeopardize anyone, but just in a way that disarms them, diffuses the bomb of pain and suffering that they're projecting into the world and possibly saving someone's life? This is ultimately where we're going. Ultimately, we're not there yet in society, so we need to be cautious and discerning of these kind of teachings. However, the embodiment's an incredible opportunity. Let's read the rest of your question. Let's see where you were going. This she says, she wants to strengthen channeling. I do value my strong empathic sense with humans and animals, she says, but I sincerely desire additional help with clearing blocks that I've not yet identified so I can be my best self in this embodiment. Do you feel that as I continue meditation and setting intention to overcome fears and blocks, that it will eventually become clear to me? No. When you set intention to overcome blocks, you're basically putting your attention on the block and saying, be more. This is one of the ways that I need to teach you about it, and I'm so glad that this question got voted to the top because the more we pay attention to, we invigorate that frequency for whatever it is when we're saying, I don't want something that should not be there. Let me eliminate that portion of God that is me. Blocks just naturally get out of the way once we recognize them as loving opportunities. They could be opportunities for any module of grace to work through you. They are an opportunity for compassion. They are an opportunity for forgiveness. They are an opportunity for oneness and the connection that comes with it. They are an opportunity for trust and allowance. They are an opportunity ultimately for flow. They are an opportunity for mercy. I'm listing so many graces right now. And graces are the spiritual technologies of the module of the soul. They are why we are here. And that is the essence that will break down any perceived blocks. And then you will recognize that it was never a block, but only something that you placed as a mile marker along the way in your journey to identify parts of yourself that required that grace. Do you understand?